I was 21 years old when I saw my first six figures hit my bank account, and it was from selling sneakers like these Kobe 6 Grinches. Fast forward to 2024, I'm now 25 years old and make $50,000 in profit every single month from renting out cheap cars just like this. Yes, I have some more expensive cars like this Bentley and Escalade here, but 95% of the vehicles that are on my fleet cost less than $15,000. And no, I didn't start with exotic cars either. I started with this Ford Transit van that was just sitting in my driveway that I was no longer using for my sneaker resale business. Yes, I have over 90 vehicles on my fleet, but all you need is one. Like this 2017 Hyundai Sonata, for example, it brings me about $1,500 in pure profit every single month. I know, it's kind of ugly if I'm being honest, and definitely not as pretty as renting out Rolls Royces, Ferraris, and Lambos. But that's actually the best part because over 80% of rental car customers choose an economy option. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how I profit over $50,000 a month renting out cheap cars and how you can do the exact same thing. So whether or not you're actually successful in this business or not breaks down to 5 main points of emphasis. Buying the right car, don't over leverage, don't get greedy, invest into systems and processes, and last but not least, ensuring you have a proper exit and entrance strategy for every single vehicle on your fleet. Otherwise, if you don't, you'll lose money. But before we break that down, let's dive into my business model and see how it actually works and where the profit comes from. So my business model consists of renting on the Turo platform and directly to my customers off the Turo platform. And obviously renting directly to my customers, I make more money, and when I rent to customers on the Turo platform, I make less. But just because you can make more money renting directly to your customers doesn't mean you can go from zero straight to direct rentals right away from day one. And that's because in order to get the proper protection, like the license and insurance, basically everything you need to be set up the proper way, most of these commercial insurance companies don't even advertise that they offer a policy specifically for rental car fleets. And if you do find them, they'll start pulling stuff out of their like you need to be in business for 5 years, you need 5 or 10 plus vehicles. And let's be real here, how is anybody supposed to get insurance right away from day one if there's a prerequisite of needing to be in business for 5 years before they'll even offer you the policy?
What?
And as I said, they'll essentially just start making stuff up as to why they can't insure you because they deem you as high risk. The point is, it'll be nearly impossible to go directly to direct rentals right away from day one. And even me, in my situation, the first 2 full years of me being in this business, I was solely on the Turo platform. With that being said, even if you could go to direct rentals right away from day one, why would you even want to do that? The increased risk, especially if you legit have no idea what you're even doing in this business. And that's exactly where Turo comes in. Turo allows you to start your own car rental company right away from day one without the overhead needed to do things yourself. Turo provides you insurance, Turo brings you the customer, and Turo pays you out for all the claims. Basically, the only thing Turo does not provide is the car itself, and that's where you come in. But let's be real, Turo is not the same today as it was 5 years ago when I started. 5 years ago, there wasn't as many hosts, there wasn't as many vehicles, and there wasn't as much competition as there is today. Today, there's nearly 400,000 vehicles worldwide on the Turo platform. 5 years ago when I started, there was only 90,000 vehicles worldwide. So, in my opinion, there's only one category of cars that can lead to long-term success in nearly any market across the US on the Turo platform. And what category is that? Yep, you guessed it. Cheap economy cars, pretty much the cheapest possible cars that we can find. Think $5,000 to $15,000 price range. That's what we're going for. The only stipulation is that it can't be any car. It has to, of course, meet Turo's listing requirements, which simply just requires the car to be within the last 12 years of age and have 130,000 miles or less. And that $5,000 to $15,000 price range is perfect for just that. So let me prove to you exactly how and why this strategy works. Let's go.
Okay, as you can see, first things first, I'm on Turo.com, Turo's website. I have Miami as the market, and then I did 3 weeks into the future just so we can get an accurate representation of pricing. The first thing I want to go over and show you is the floor price of the entire market as a whole, which the floor price is literally just the cheapest price you can get any car for in the entire market. And as you can see, after applying the filter, the cheapest price in the Miami market goes for like $26 a day. But look at what type of cars are competing against each other in this price range. Literally, you have cars 2011 and 2012, all the way up to brand new 2022 and 2023 cars that are all competing in the same price range and get the same daily rate. Furthermore, look how long you have to scroll just for the market to even go up $5, even $10. I mean, we've gone through nearly 200 cars and we're still at $35 a day. In general, these hosts are bringing in anywhere from $600 to $1,000 in total revenue every single month. And the last thing that you have to understand is how much the host is actually getting paid versus what the customer is actually paying. And as you can see here, it's supposed to be $30 a day, but after all the fees and protection plans, it's almost $160 total. Obviously, the host gets 75% of whatever their daily rate is, so $30 a day, they're going to get somewhere around $60 total for this trip, but the customer truly pays almost $180 total. And as you can see, the host is getting well less than half of the true value of the rental, which is even more of the reason to transition from Turo to private because of all of the money that you're leaving on the table.
So now that we understand what cars perform best on the Turo platform, let's break down each car's entrance and exit strategy. First, before we even discuss purchasing a car for this business, why would you not start with a car that's literally sitting in your driveway right now? After all, you literally have nothing to lose. You throw the car on the Turo platform, see if this business is for you, and if not, you literally lose nothing. And if it works out, you have everything to gain. But if you are going to purchase a car for the Turo platform because you don't have one or your main car is your daily driver, then you're going to want to listen up. The most profitable way to go about this business, and really the only way this business works out long term as far as profitability goes in 2024, is buying cars outright in cash. Why, you ask? Well, the exit strategy that I follow and teach involves getting rid of the car within an 8 to 18 month time period. The goal, well, is to buy and sell the car in the same depreciation range to minimize our overall risk. But let's break down the numbers for the haters that are going to be in the comments. If you finance a $10,000 vehicle, your payment is going to be around $200 or so every single month on a 5-year payback term. And as I just said, the car is set to be paid off in 5 years. And with the miles, wear and tear we're going to be putting on this vehicle, there's absolutely no chance that car makes it the full length of the loan. So if you do finance, the full first year of the loan is going to be a lot in interest with today's rates. And more importantly, there's most likely going to be negative equity, leaving you literally working for pennies on the front end and losing thousands on the back end. And that's the sad reality for most Turo hosts. 1 to 2 years into this business, they figure out that they have a ton of negative equity. And how did they find that out? Probably because 1 to 2 years in, they want to get rid of that car because of the wear and tear and mileage on it. And when they go to sell it, that's when they figure out that they have all the negative equity. And yes, that means that they worked for free. So by buying a $10,000 car in cash, say 80,000 miles or so, I would want to get rid of that vehicle by around 120,000 miles or so. And that's so I don't lose money on my parked cash and can make the consistent rental income every single month. As opposed to keeping the car longer than 8 to 18 months, you run the risk of a mechanical failure coming up. And when that mechanical failure does come up, on average, it eats away at the profits that you made in other years. All right, let's look at the numbers. So with a $10,000 cash car, say you can bring in $1,000 every single month on Turo, that's $12,000 over the course of 12 months. Then let's say we'll get rid of the car around 12 months into having that car on the fleet, and we sell it for around $8,000, which is super realistic, by the way. If you decide to keep it longer than that first year, then your risk increases. These cars already have a decent bit of mileage on them, and if any mechanical failure comes up in year 2, like a transmission repair of $4,000, that's going to come straight out of your profit from year 2, which essentially takes away profit from year 1. And of course, if you finance, you don't have control over any of this. Say the finance car has negative equity, and then a mechanical failure comes up on top of that. You would have to make the decision to come out of pocket to pay the $4,000 for the mechanical failure and deal with the negative equity later, or cut your losses on the car, get rid of the car, and realize that negative equity and sell it. Both situations involve you losing money. Bottom line, if you're going to do this, purchase your cars in cash and don't finance. And if you don't have the cash to buy the car outright in cash, then this business model probably isn't for you. But if you are dead set on it, finance a car $10,000 or less. Definitely no more than $10,000 out the door. And your only goal with that car is to take every single dollar that comes in revenue wise from the rentals and put it back towards the principal on that loan so you can pay it off as soon as possible. And once you pay off the car, you sell the car to minimize your risk, take out your parked equity, and then reinvest that equity into a better option that you can actually go and maximize for an 8 to 18 month period in this business. So, as I mentioned earlier, one of the keys to success is to not get greedy. A lot of Turo hosts can see that they can make a lot more money by renting directly to their customers, but they don't know exactly what's needed to rent directly to their customers the proper way and minimize risk. So what do? They start accepting reservations, hoping and praying that nothing happens to their vehicle, literally risking their entire business over pennies in the short term. So how will you know when you're ready to transition to direct rentals? Let's talk about it. First, your fleet is majority owned outright in cash, at least 50%. Second, you have 2 or more vehicles. And third, you feel comfortable about your systems and processes that are in place. And last but not least, you have all 6 levels of protection that I'm about to get into. First, commercial insurance. 2, charging a damage deposit minimum of $500. 3, selling insurance to your guests on a per trip basis. This you need a license for. 4, renting to customers that do have auto insurance that's transferable to rental cars. 5, verifying customer documents like their license and verifying their insurance through a third-party verification software. And last but not least, the 6th thing that you'll need, a website with a booking software and CRM to manage your customers. And the toughest obstacle is 100% going to be the commercial insurance. So the more cars you have and the longer you've been in business, the higher chance a commercial insurance company will actually insure you. In reality, 80% of my bookings are private and 20% or so come from the Turo platform. And that's because not every customer is a good fit for direct rentals. So if they fail our in-house vetting, we'll just transition them over to a booking on the Turo platform to minimize my risk. The software that I use for my direct rentals was built in-house by me and my team of developers, and it's called onenow.io. The software allows your customers to book automatically. It vets your customers' license and insurance automatically, generates the rental agreement automatically, sells insurance to your guests automatically, and really so much more. Be sure to check that out down in the description down below. Right now, we're offering a free website completely built out by my developers with the purchase of our backend software. When it comes to insurance, even if I told you who I use, most likely they're just straight up going to tell you they can't insure you, or maybe they'll lie and say that they don't even offer commercial insurance. And that's because their whole goal is minimizing risk as much as it is ours. So these commercial insurance companies, they only want to work with a set amount or a certain amount of clients at any given time for risk purposes. And as I said, each situation is going to be a little bit different. So insurance in this business isn't going to be a one size fits all policy, and literally has to be customized specific to each fleet. So if you're currently on Turo and you want to make that transition the proper way to direct rentals, you can book a one-on-one call with me down below. I've discounted it for the first 5 people that are interested in making that transition. And by the end of the call, you'll have a clear plan of attack of accomplishing your goals and successfully transitioning to private rental. Or if you're just starting from scratch and you want me to dive into your situation specifically, you can book a call as well. That's going to wrap up this video. If you found some value, be sure to leave a like. It helps me out and helps us grow as well. And if you have any questions, be sure to drop them down below. So what are you waiting for?